We made it. Yay. And everybody, thank you for jumping on this Instagram Live. This is exciting. We've got Alexandra O'Laughlin, the one and
Yay!
only.
Oh, thanks for having me on. It's so good to be here and talk to you in this, state of not a whole lot to do in the golf world right now. So,
No kidding. So give me I haven't met you in person, but I've been following you for a while, and I'm so just excited to talk to you right now, but also that you're doing what you're doing, and you've got so much going on. You're all over the place, and you've got a lot of really cool connections. So I just wanted to kind of dig in and get to know you a bit, and share it with other people to see that you know there's a lot more to golf than just what we see so far.
oh yeah, the whole behind the scenes of everything that goes on. You sort of see the broadcast and it's this seamless transition from hole to hole, and there's this whole team of people that are working behind it in all different fields and departments, audio, technicians, you've got our broadcasters, and then producers and writers. So it is a whole big world that comes together, and it comes across great, but it's a lot of hard work. And I mean, you know how it is just working in golf. We have enough frustration with our swings, let alone putting on this entire broadcast.
No kidding. And I was just before we got on, I'm like, I'm nervous. And it wasn't nervous to actually talk to you to do this. It was nerve-wracking because I'm trying to, I'm trying to record it at the same time. I'm trying to make sure that the audio works and trying to make sure the video, I'm just this is like a very simple transaction. I can only imagine.
Yeah,
I can't
and no
imagine.
matter what level you're on, whether it's on social media or on TV, there's always these sort of difficulties or, just obstacles to overcome, and you figure it out in the moment too. And it's always just this like fight or flight, and you get into it and make it happen. So like you did.
So give me I want to start from the beginning. So where did you start from in your journey, the Alexandra O'Laughlin journey um, you know, from golfer to Golf Channel correspondent? Walk me through the highlights.
Yeah, I mean, I would say my journey started always interested in television and then always interested in sports. It wasn't golf at first, it was, soccer and basketball for me. But I think once I found golf and I already knew I had this love for TV and broadcast journalism, it came to this point of, all right, well, I want to do both of these things and, figure out a way to do what I love as a career.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of like putting together the puzzle pieces and figuring it out and coming up with these ideas of how you can do that. And I think once you get sort of a role of understanding what you want and what makes you happy, it just becomes easier to get there.
You know, that kind of applies to everybody and everything, doesn't it? The more you figure out what kind of excites you, the more you're just drawn to doing it. And the more you do it, then it doesn't really seem like work anymore, right?
Exactly. And it's a whole confidence thing too, that, you just want to keep gaining. And then with that comes more opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. And then a lot of things have to kind of go your way. And so there's a little luck, but I think there's a lot of work behind it too. And
That's why I love that Gary Player quote, because it's, the harder you practice, the luckier you get. And every opportunity that has sort of come my way, I acknowledge that there is that aspect of luck, but you're working hard and putting yourself in those positions to, meet new people and put yourself in situations that, maybe you haven't done before. If you haven't done a live broadcast or something like that, you got to start somewhere, and just having that,
right.
that little bit of drive to do it.
Right. So, all right, broadcast journalism. So you went to college, and
I did.
That was your major. Where did you go?
So I went to Lewis University, which is in Illinois. And I knew from before I picked up golf, that I wanted to play golf in college. And that was sort of my reason to play. I love goals, and golf is you can easily set a lot of goals. And playing college golf and getting a scholarship, that was like what I set my sights on, really. And I don't know, I went to college for 3 years. I graduated early, and yeah, it's such an interesting journey. Did you play college golf?
So it's not about me, but actually I played college lacrosse.
Lacrosse, okay.
I kind of got here like that. So my story is a little more complicated. I liked golf, but it wasn't my first sport growing up. I mean, I played tournament golf as a junior because I couldn't play with there was no junior program. I'm a bit older than you. When I was a kid, I just kind of played with my brother and my dad. And, you know, you wanted to play golf, you had to go sign up for, I'm from Vermont, the Vermont Golf Association. And you get a tee time at 6:30 in the morning, and the ground's wet, and I think I even had shoes with spikes on them, like literally spikes.
Yes.
Heavy golf that were not waterproof. So for me, golf was like, it was fun, but I didn't love it. I mean, I liked it a lot. I just love sports, but I played other, when I got to high school, there was no golf team on campus. There was a club, and you had to drive 45 minutes, and it was co-ed.
There's got to be some similarities though between golf and lacrosse, right? In maybe the fundamentals, or
yeah, for sure. I mean, in hindsight, I look at my experiences playing 12 years of competitive lacrosse, including the U.S. All-Star team, and I think, the team element, the team aspect for me was so fun, and you do get that on a golf team, of course. It maybe even more so in a golf team because, let's say that you have 10, between 8 and 10, you're tight. If you're traveling with 5, you are literally, there are 5 of you. You are those 5 get to know each other so well.
exactly.
And as far as the movement goes, I mean, I certainly know that there's some eye-hand coordination that any sport can help with. I grew up playing hockey too, a lot of ice hockey and skiing. So, the general movement stuff, like coordination, balance, strength, visualization, and I don't know, I guess competitiveness. That all
I agree.
goes together in like a big mix,
I think that's why so many athletes have this ability to go out and, shoot an 85 without, a year of practice and, grinding, because they just have that natural athletic ability and the competitive nature to just want to succeed.
Yeah, I think that's right. So interestingly, we have all this time we're at home. I've been watching a lot of webinars and interviews and Zoom meetings and stuff like this, having a lot of fun watching too, by the way. So I'm excited to have you on. You talk.
I know, yay.
So Mark Brody, yesterday, I can't remember who he was talking to. Maybe it was Andrew Rice. He was saying the number one area where amateurs mess up essentially is about like 20 to 30 yards off the green from the rough. And
okay, so short game is
yeah
where you're gaining those strokes.
That's right. We all know you need to kind of have all the skills, but that's the area where there's the most opportunity. And I was thinking, okay, a couple things. One, like responding to what you said about the athleticism, like if you have pretty good eye-hand coordination, you get, you kind of get the idea that you can finesse the ball, and that's sort of a finesse shot from that distance. So I think athleticism in either sport, that helps. But more relevant to this right now, you can work on this inside.
It's true. I think everybody's putting stats are going to drop a few strokes.
I would hope so. Okay, so then this is the Alexandra O'Laughlin show. So after you went to school and you played college golf, you did broadcast journalism, so you already had some experience in front of a camera. You already had some like know-how about journalism, but television journalism, right?
Exactly. And when I was in college, I think I really gravitated toward a lot of the behind the scenes and editing and producing. I was on Avid every night, just editing anything I could. I would go out and I would film my golf team and take a camera with us, just because I wanted to get the experience of piecing it together.
So for those who don't
And
know, Avid's like, I don't know how much it costs now, but that's a professional level editing software. You kind of have to have your own computer for the Avid. Like you can't just throw it on your Mac. I mean, you might be able to
exactly. And I mean, you
computer.
can get it. It's an investment. And, you know, Final Cut was another option. And I was like, okay, it's, you know, X amount of dollars. What do you do? And, you know, if you want to do it, just invest because it's an investment in yourself. And if you see a future in that, you know, that's what you're going to have to do. So, you know, you make it happen.
So when you were editing, I mean, I find now I do a bunch of videos, mostly like really quick 1 minutes on Instagram. I've got some longer ones I'll probably put on YouTube at some point, but you know, you really learn a lot about what you need to do to make it easier in the editing room. You clearly, you're such a pro.
Yes.
What are a couple things like, let's say someone's watching right now that wants to do their own videos. What kind of tips do you have in terms of making good content, like so that you don't have to do a million takes?
Yeah, I mean, the million takes you may have to do. I've been in situations where you have to, but I think there are a couple like key fundamentals that make things a little bit more smooth. And, you know, it's just be prepared because I think preparation is the biggest thing you could do, obviously, no matter what you're doing, but especially in television. Um, Knowing what you're talking about, knowing what you have to do, you're going to eliminate those extra takes. You're going to uh, help your editing team and the people that are putting this together. They're going to love you if they don't have to go through all of these different clips. So I think having a shot list too could be helpful. Just, you know, cross things off as you go and then you're super organized. And then if you're editing, just edit to, if you have music, to the beat. I think that makes a big difference.
Wow.
If I could edit some music videos, I would love to.
That's cool. Yeah, you can. Why not? TikTok. There you go.
Yeah, we'll see how TikTok goes.
So, okay, then walk me through like a typical day in the life of Alexandra.
I mean, that's interesting. I would say I think maybe what I love most about my life is there is no typical day.
Okay.
Everything just is always changing. Um, you know, there's times where I wake up and I'm like, okay, which tournament are we at? What's going on? So I
What state am
rely
I
very
in?
heavily, yeah, because you're in this hotel room that's pretty generic with the blinds and like
Yeah.
so I definitely enjoy not having a consistent routine, which, you know, I know that is the big thing that helps people, but I mean, I just love having some variety in what I'm doing. And I think when things get maybe a little bit too stale, that's when I don't feel as creative and energized. So I don't know. There is no typical day. It depends on sort of where we're at. Are we working at an event or
Yeah.
where are we?
By the way, you have so many fans. Oh my God. I'm reading some of these comments.
Oh, do we have some good ones? Oh
Yeah,
my God.
mostly like, I love you, Alexandra. You're a
Oh, that's
goddess.
great.
I know she is. She's a living
Aw.
goddess, you guys and girls. So this is a
Aw.
living goddess right here.
Yeah, they're like, we want to come see the Trillium show. Let's go.
So tell me then, all right, so let's say you're going to go on a job. So, but you have this really graceful way of being like, I don't know if you were born with that smile or if you like learned how to just smile all the time. I think you're born with it. Do you have a way of just like, you light everything up. And so wherever you are, I mean, you know, the resting bitch face that like everyone else has. I
Oh,
feel like you
yes.
don't have that. Can you
I
try?
don't have that at
Can you do
all.
it?
This, I,
Try to do what's your resting bitch face? See, it's not even, you guys. Look, she can't do
this,
it.
this smile is from my dad 100%. You will never see him not smiling, and I am
Yeah,
the exact same way.
you have no RBF.
Yeah, we don't need to practice my RBF.
That's really awesome. So then when you're at a tournament, you get to, you know, you really have like carte blanche. I'm thinking about who you talk to and what you're kind of going to dig into. So coming from your background as a player, you know what you're looking at, and you kind of know who you're talking to. But are there any people that you've thought would be one way and you met them and they were entirely not like that?
I mean, I've come to realize that's how a lot of the interactions are, and not always negative. A lot of times you're just like, wow, that was a really interesting interview, and I didn't know I would be so compelled by what they had to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it happens a lot, especially with
And can you
golfers.
give me an example?
Okay, let's see. So, I mean, on tour, it's interesting because golfers, you don't know how they're going to be because you don't see their personality that often.
That's what I mean.
And
That's what I mean.
yes, so one of the like really big sort of like powerhouses in golf that I interacted with was Gary Player. And I've kind of came into it with, all right, well, he is so accomplished and he's been doing this for so long. Why would he want to talk to the media now? What, you know, like why is he wanting to put forth the time? And could not be any more splendid than he was. And I think that is very rare to find someone that has those accomplishments and is willing to share their time, because at the end of the day, your time is the most valuable thing that you have. And when somebody gives that to you, you have to be beyond appreciative. And Gary has time for media. He has time for teaching and helping other people. So, I just found him to be so impressive across the board in many different ways.
You're so lucky that you had that time with him too, because he's obviously a legend.
Exactly. Yes.
So when I had lunch with a couple when I was working at Durrell to McLean down in Miami during the CA Championship. I don't even know how this happened. I had lunch. It was Adam Scott and Jeff Ogilvy were at the table, a few of their caddies, and Jeff Ogilvy just blew me away how intelligent that guy is. And the discussion that we were having and it wasn't just the two of us, it was at the table, and I was mostly just watching and listening. I was so impressed at his level of intelligence and his ability to articulate thoughts, and how his critical thinking skills were just second. Not like he could have, he could have been a lawyer, right? He could have
Yeah.
done anything. And he chose golf. So I don't know. I always think that that's interesting when you meet someone and you're like, wow, you are blah, 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 or you were so shy, like Annika Sormstam, so shy. Now, I kind of knew she was
Right.
shy. She came to do a clinic at Woodmont and couldn't be a nicer human being, just huge heart, has given so much to the game, has given so much to fans. But I think at the end of the day, she's a real introvert. And she'd prefer not to like just gush and go out there with all these things. So that's interesting. Like we know so much about her, but then you're like, hey, and she's like,
Well, when you find or come across someone like that too, you realize how valuable what they say is, because they're not saying much. So, take it to heart, because if they're saying it to you, they mean it and they believe it.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
Annika is a great example of that, because every interaction I've had with her, it's been so thoughtful, and she's given me great advice in whatever it is.
Yeah, that's you have a good perch. So what else? I've seen a couple questions. Someone asked on what your low round was playing golf. If you're
okay, low round 68.
Yeah, girl.
And so I told Claude Harmon I was getting really close to breaking 70 a few months ago, and I was like, Claude, I'm so close to it. What do I need to do? And he's like, well, I think you should go out and play golf without a rangefinder. I am not that person to just go completely by feel. I don't know how you are, Trillium, but there's no way that works for me.
I don't know. Yeah, I think if I were playing every day, I'd feel more comfortable. But because I have not played every single day in a while, about probably been 2 years since I played every day.
Yeah, well, even
I have a
still, I
2-year-old
love
daughter,
having
that's
a
why.
number, and
Yeah, yeah.
I like to visualize that number, have it in my head, and then
Yeah.
hit it to that distance.
Okay, that's a really interesting thing. So he basically was saying like develop your senses.
Yeah, and then you're not relying so much on these like numbers that are in your head and getting in your own head, which I do think happens so easily. And there are ways to incorporate that 100%.
Have you done it yet?
No, and I haven't played in a couple months now, just with quarantine and everything. So when I get out of this, but I was on the verge.
On the
And
verge.
then you know how it is, you get busy and now you're not playing like you were. But over the summer, that was just it's nonstop golf, nonstop work.
Yeah.
The golfing is work, so
But that's a fun perk. What's someone asked if you get to play public courses, not just private, you know, or where you are on the balance of things.
oh yeah, all the time. It completely depends on what works with the schedule because a lot of times when I play, I am working or filming. So, you know, I'll go out and film somewhere and then ask if I can go sneak out for 9 in the afternoon. So
Yeah.
it just depends where I am. But I did a bunch of pieces for Golf Advisor early on at Golf Channel, and I would just go to all of these like amazing hidden gems.
Awesome.
I went to a bunch in Arizona, and that was fantastic. So it's just wherever is going to work with the schedule and who I'm surrounded with.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely not just private clubs. But
Do you have a
I
little,
do I was
do you
gonna say
have
I do like playing them to just let people sort of into this world where okay, you might not be a member at this club, but you know, here's a look at the facilities and what it has to offer and the views.
yeah.
So I like bringing that to people.
I think that's great. And I was just thinking as you're saying this, it'd be cool if you don't already have a list of all your golf courses that you've ever played with a, you know, not like a Tom Doak, let's rate them and get hardcore, but here are
Just
the
which ones you've played.
yeah, like a Google map where you pin the courses you've played. Like if it's worth playing it here, I'm going to pin it and just check it out. If you're in the area, go there. When I lived in Miami, I had a lot of friends come down and visit, or people that were like, "Hey, I'm going to be in Miami. What do I do?" And so I just made a Google map and I pinned all the restaurants that I liked, all like the areas to go, the golf courses you could play, things to do. Like, okay, if you want great drinks at sunset, go here. If you want great brunch and sightseeing,
Yes,
go
I'm
here.
with you. I have that for food.
You do.
I need to do my golf version of that for sure. Because even now I'm responding to messages like, oh, okay, you're going on this trip. You know, who are you going with? What's the vibe you want? All right, here's some recommendations.
Yeah.
So that is the way to do it. You just have this ongoing sort of spreadsheet of
Yeah. And it's not like I'm trying to be lazy, but I'm like, all right, just take the link. Just here's the link. And
yes.
you go. What's the best? Someone just asked, what's the favorite food that you've ever had on a golf course?
Oh, on the golf course. I am very simple on the golf course where turkey club, peanut butter and jelly, and Uncrustable, some pretzels. I wouldn't say I'm the healthiest on the golf course. I'll just
So
have whatever
there's some
looks good.
but there's some famous, say, like signature things that
I
certain
see someone just said burger dogs at Olympic. Okay, I had my first one and that was incredible. That was really interesting.
someone's just said hot dogs at Castle Course. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So National Golf Links has uh, it's a what is it? It's a lobster roll. That's
Fantastic.
pretty nice.
It's been a while since I've had a good lobster roll, so
Yeah, so that's always fun. Actually, there's somebody, he's a friend of one of my friends. He has an account and it's just chicken sandwiches on golf courses. That's his Instagram.
I love it. I could do one on media centers.
Media centers.
Media center dining.
Bulgarian special at Italy. Where is that? Bulgarian
Yeah,
special.
where
I
is
guess.
that?
Do you know? Did you enjoy the Open in Portrush last summer? Did you go to the Open last
I
summer? Yes.
did, and Royal Port Rush was incredible. I played it ahead of time, so I had an idea of how the course was going to play, and during my round, it was just pouring rain. And I never thought about it once because you're just in such awe by, every hole, and you
Being
get
there,
to Calamity Corner and you're like, wow, okay, we got to focus. The rain is nothing at this point.
right?
So I really enjoyed it. And the people were incredible there too.
So that's a media day, right?
So this wasn't an event I played in that the RNA hosted, and definitely a huge honor and privilege to be a part of that. And it was the first of its kind. So I went down with a handful of other people in the media, and you get to play the course, and it's sort of competition. And the grandstands are up, and you have all of the signage, which just makes it feel really real.
Yeah.
So you have some nerves on the first tee for sure.
I remember seeing some of your pictures from that, just looked like a most spectacular. So
Well, you get that lush green, don't
the
you?
lush green. What about and I think there's a bunch of people that are either in Ireland or they've been before giving us the thumbs up. So what about?
Oh, there's Rick Shields who also played in that.
Were you playing
Hey,
together?
Rick. No, we weren't in the same group, but I think we did run into each other at the halfway house.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, Rick, and got some chocolates and warmed up for a bit before heading back out.
With a little toddy. Tell me about the Masters. Are you going to go in November, and what's that going to be like?
Oh, I'm so excited to see what that will be like, because I think it is a little bit of unknown, but you realize it's Augusta National. It's going to be pristine in whatever obstacle there is, whatever month of the year. So I know it's going to be great, and finding out in which ways it maybe is better or different, I'm excited for that. So yes, I'm planning on going, and we'll see what it brings.
Do you know, funny, actually, I just remember this. I saw you at the Masters last year. We were just like, it was too far away to kind of run after you.
Oh, were you there? Okay, because you do run into so many people, and you're all just sort of like stargazed and
just like full on pimento cheese and barbecue chicken. But I wanted to say hi, but I didn't want to run. If you've been to the Masters, you can't run. You can't.
Yes.
They stop you. But I was like,
I have my spectator guide. Maybe we'll read that through next time.
Yeah. You read? I think the spectator. So on the back of your ticket, there's some fine print, which is really, which is just phenomenal. There's a bit about basically overdoing the applause. Like, just keep it
a respectful applause.
Yes, like don't be rude. Don't go crazy if you don't need to go crazy. Like, no, in the hole. That kind of.
Good, and I'm sure they said it in the most eloquent way, and it just makes people think, oh, maybe I shouldn't stick to my typical on-course behavior.
Totally. So what can you do, if anything, while you're on lockdown? Is there anything you can be doing for work?
Yeah, well, so Golf Pass and Golf Channel just launched the Connor Moore show, and that was really exciting to sort of see that go up. And I think it's finding these different pieces of content that are going out and being able to elevate those, especially when it's within the Golf Channel family and the NBC family. You sort of have that ability to lean on these other things and join together. So it's a lot of that, and just getting ready for the season. I've realized, you don't have a lot of off time in the golf industry, and, it's just back to back to back. So having this time, I've realized, just embrace it, enjoy it, because you're not always going to have this sort of intimate time with family. Yeah.
That's really nice. It's true. I've been finding this time to be almost a little blessing, obviously under kind of the cloak of the somber part, and it's been, painful in a lot of different ways. But the beauty of it is, hey, you can sit there and think about what you'd want to get done, or what you didn't get done before, what you'd like to, what's important to you, kind of bring those priorities back to the surface.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you haven't spent time with whoever in your family, take advantage of that now.
Yeah. So who is the who is your favorite person that you've interviewed so far? And I know that's unfair because then it's like I'm choosing. So what? Okay, I shouldn't say favorite. Okay, who has been kind of a highlight person that you want to share?
Okay, highlight person. Let's see. So starting out at Golf Channel, I believe my first major I worked was the Open. So when you go to your first major, that's where everything just feels bigger.
Right.
And actually, no, I'm sorry, KPMG Women's PGA was my first one. Mm-hmm. And I have never walked into an event like that and just known, okay, this is different than, every week on tour. Right. And I interviewed Lizette Salas, who it's incredible interviewing these players who knew they wanted to play professionally from such a young age. And, she went to USC, and I was, sort of blown away by this whole, like I said, I love setting goals. So she knew she wanted to play professionally and accomplish that and what it took to get there. So the Corda sisters, I think they're incredible, and their family is so talented, as you know. So anytime I can talk to them and just sort of, see what their days are like and what they have to say.
Yeah, that's interesting. Where do you think that I don't know, women's golf is going? I mean, I didn't think we were talking about women's golf, but I don't know where we go, but I love it. And so you definitely have had your mark in women's golf, and you still do. Do you have any thoughts on women's golf? I know we've got a lot of great American players right now.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I love going to the events and getting to know the players. I think the biggest difference between going to an LPGA or a PGA event is the access that you have. And if you are a golf lover, you would absolutely love going to an LPGA event because you have those sort of interactions that you wouldn't typically have. And you can sort of walk an entire round with a player without feeling completely lost. Right. And so a lot of times those are the events that I love the most going to because, the players, they want to talk to you. Yeah. And so I think just elevating them and their personalities, that is only going to help grow the entire LPGA as a whole when you become invested in those one-on-one players.
Yeah, I love that. Someone asked if you've ever met Tiger.
So I have not interviewed him, but I have met him. And when you see him, he's like a video game. And he's so perfect, and everything is proportional and so athletic. So it is an interesting experience where you're like, okay, I've been watching you on TV for so many years, and now here we are.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to talk to him at all?
Just miscellaneous chat. I was at his event, the Hero Challenge in Albany, and that's his event, and there's only maybe 18 players in the field. So, and there's hardly anybody that goes to spectate just because it's, basically on an island.
It's hard to get to the Bahamas, and where you can, like, Albany's private, where are you going to stay? So it's a
exactly. And so it was all these top players in the world that are in one spot. So you do have a little bit more time with them. And yep. I know I walked a few holes with Justin Rose, and you understand that they love golf so much, and sometimes that gets lost in the broadcast of just seeing them make these pars and birdies one after another.
That's good. I just saw TPI wants to know what's been the biggest impact on your game so far, and I think they're probably thinking about the maybe on the technique side, exercise, fitness, or maybe a swing thought, maybe it's a mental thought.
Oh, okay. Well, my swing has evolved a lot in the last 13 months. I was at the Players and met Matt Killen for the first time, who is this extraordinary coach, and looked at my swing, gave me a few things to work on, and then we've sort of built this relationship where here's my swing, what do you think, this is where I'm hitting it. So having someone that I could sort of rely on for swing help has been huge, because there was this big gap after college where you just, I didn't have anybody. Had I known you, Trillium, I would have been there in a heartbeat.
I'm still
So
here for
yeah,
you.
having someone
I'm
to
always here.
talk to is important
I
and has
think that
helped me a lot.
I think that's it's a good point, having an ongoing relationship with someone that you can kind of that can travel with you, not necessarily physically, but that you can kind of check in with, and someone who knows your game, who knows maybe your tendencies, and who can kind of speak the language that you want to speak.
Exactly. And you know how it goes. Sometimes you just get in your own head and you need to bounce ideas off someone. So,
right. Was there anything specific that like any particular move that you want to share?
yeah, well, I think not coming so inside on the takeaway was something I knew immediately I needed to work on, but just getting to the place where I could was I didn't know how to do that on my own.
Yeah.
But so putting your bum up against the wall and sort of taking that club back, I'm sure you've done it, taking the club back just along the wall to take it straight up. That's helped me tremendously.
Not smash into the wall, but just like a nice neutral takeaway. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's been the biggest thing that I still work on, and it's been about a year. But I do that all the time, just as sort of a reminder and get that muscle memory.
That's great. How's your putting?
It's the thing I need to work on because I don't get a lot of practice time. Actually, none at all. It's usually just, okay, I have time to play. Let's go. I'll get in as many holes as I can. Or, all right, we're filming at a course, so hope the first tee shot is good because there's not really time to warm up. Or I'd rather go through maybe like what I have to say on camera rather than my swing.
Right.
So I would love to have more time to practice, but I do enjoy playing and make the most of it. I'm not crazy about score, but I keep it, and it just keeps me in sync of where I'm at and what I want to work on. But putting is the one thing I should get after on this over these next few weeks.
How many different places have you visited in the last year? If you just had to guess.
Oh, sheesh. 8 countries in the last year.
8.
And then in terms of states or wherever, I wouldn't even know. It's a lot of ping pong though between the same places. Obviously my family's here in Denver, and then Golf Channel's in Orlando, and then you go where the events take you. So often I find myself going West Coast, East Coast, back and forth.
And where's your home base?
So I have a place in Orlando, which I've been there for the past couple years, and it's been a great spot to go and sort of unwind and get ready for the next event. But I've been spending a lot more time in Denver. Just, if I can see my family, that's fantastic. And since I work remotely and on the road, this has been a great spot to come back and sort of regroup also and have their support.
Do you ski?
No. You can teach me that also.
I can totally teach you how to ski. Oh my.
All right, we'll have our ski trip because I would thoroughly enjoy that.
Do you realize that my dream is to go on a girls' ski trip? I've already done, girls' golf is really fun. Maybe it could be a girls' ski and girls' golf.
I was just going to say, if you come to Colorado, we can make both those things happen in the same day, no problem.
That would be my dream. So I grew up in Vermont with 3 ski areas in my hometown. And skiing was something you kind of had to ski. You had to do something outside because it's basically, you can't be inside all year round in Vermont. It's just miserable. So
right. Okay, I'm in.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So what about, let's see, somebody asked us Steve Sands. Do you have any Steve Sands stories?
Oh, just the most genuine person that I've met. He is always so understanding, and when I see him at an event, he's like, "Okay, do you need anything? Do you have the right credentials? Can I get you in anywhere? Do you need an introduction to this person?" So that has just been really reassuring when I see him at a tournament, because I know he's just a smiling face and he loves what he does and is always happy to help you, which you need that in golf media 100%, because it's, your interviews with players, a lot of it is on your personal relationships.
Yes.
So having someone that's willing to sort of be that connection for you is
Right.
great.
That's so nice to hear. That's so nice to hear, because you just don't, you don't know who's helping you out. I would imagine that a lot of people want to help you, as opposed to, give you the, I don't know, cold shoulder.
Well, most of the people who love golf are good people. So, and especially at Golf Channel, they are just some of the finest, smartest, kindest people that have sort of been curated into this one industry. So you can't go wrong in sort of my colleagues, because they've been a huge help.
That's awesome. So someone asked where I'm from in Vermont. I'm from Warren, where Sugarbush and Mad River Glen. So I learned at Mad River, and
I don't think I've been to Vermont, so.
Really,
Yeah.
it's really pretty. Well, there's got really strong season. So in the fall, the colors are just spectacular. Probably Denver's pretty similar. The leaves change color, and then just like orange and gold and red. Then the snow, obviously, if there's a good winter for snow, is really fun. It's kind of magical. Vermont has a no billboard law, so they really protected the scenery. So if you're driving on the highway, even the highway is pretty good. If you can look at it just rolling.
Yeah, there's nothing interfering with those views.
No, there's nothing interfering. And there are a lot of these little towns, and you see little white steeples, little church. A lot of mom and pop stores. So it's fun. I mean, my parents are still there. I don't think I could live there personally. I mean, I love going back, but I don't know that I could live there right now. But I love going back. Probably the same with you going to Denver. I know you grew up in Illinois though, right?
No, I grew up here and just went to school in Illinois. So yeah, this is home.
Denver's home for you. And you don't ski? What happened?
I know. I am in an effort to learn and figure it out. So that'll be my next goal.
Okay, we're on.
Again, you can help me with the skiing.
Yeah. So what else? What else can you tell us, Alexandra? It's fun to chat. I mean, when else are you going to have any downtime anyway? This is like this magic time where I can.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. You do have to take advantage of these little, spots you have. This is obviously, a much different situation, but I've had it in the past at Golf Channel where I've had a week off and I'm, itching to go and get to the next event or fill it with something. And, after a year or two, I realized, okay, you have to take advantage of those times, because you're never going to be fully recharged for the next week if you don't, spend those 5 days doing what you need to do for you.
Right. How much time are you focused on social media? Like, how much time do you look at your Instagram messages or your DMs, or like, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go with your social media stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think social media has been a lot of fun to grow with Golf Channel, because I'm in all of these really interesting places, sort of meeting these interesting people. And, that's what you want to use your social media for, is sort of sharing these experiences that maybe other people might not have. So, this is what it's like inside the ropes at a PGA Tour event or at Royal Portrush. So, just being able to use that and, sort of feed the content to different golf lovers has been really cool. And I love reading messages, which I will read them, and people feel like they're there, or there's,
right,
a part of them that had that experience. So that makes me incredibly happy.
It is an interesting dimension, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like, I feel like I know people, but I don't. They know me, but we don't really know each other, but we're kind of in this little space where I know my audience pretty well. I mean, I kind of know who's in the room with me. And
right.
I kind of know.
And you know who you're helping with your videos and the instruction and the fitness.
I know why they're there. I know when I'm pushing the envelope a little, I'm like, they may not like this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Or I know when, I'm like, okay, this is right on point. I know this is like meat to the tigers, to use the Tiger King.
Exactly.
Have you seen the Tiger King, by the way?
I did watch it.
How
I,
mind-boggling is that?
I know. Well, I think the best part is just finding a show that you can binge sort of quickly, and during these times, that's fantastic. So I've loved it.
What else? What else are you watching on TV? Anything? Any movies? Anything good?
I did start Little Fires Everywhere, which is on Hulu.
Uh-huh.
I love Entourage and Curb Your Enthusiasm, so sometimes when in doubt of what to watch, I will just rewatch the seasons and have them kind of going in the background because I know what's going to happen to an extent, so I don't have to be fully focused. Because I'm
Yeah,
never really sitting down just watching TV. I'm always doing something else in addition. So that's kind of my perfect ground.
I get that. Curb has been deep, 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 deep. Sort of
What have
watch
you been watching?
Curb Your Enthusiasm, and
Have you?
it's so cringy. It's like it nothing goes his way. It always falls. You get yourself into this.
I love it. I would love to play golf with Larry David.
Oh my God, I
And
know.
that's the best part of those two shows is that they have this golf element that runs through the entire seasons.
Yeah,
So you're constantly getting these little fixes of, them talking about golf or playing golf. And I
yeah.
love those little niche comments.
Love. Okay, so if you get the invite, will you bring me too?
Yes. Well,
I want
that's the dream foursome.
that'd be who'd be the fourth?
Um, Me, you, Larry David. All right, you choose the fourth.
Well, I chose myself already.
Oh, okay. You're already joining. Okay,
All
I
right,
think what you do is
we'll think
you
of someone. We'll think of someone.
the best
Maybe
part of playing golf is not knowing who you're going to play with. And I
yes,
think that was always the fun of, showing up for a book tee time and
yeah,
okay, who are you going to meet? Who are you going to play with?
yeah,
Um, because often when you're playing with maybe a pro, as I would in a pro-am,
yeah.
you do have this, you know, idea of what it's going to be like. And I miss the sort of unknown of, all right, who is going to be in the group? Where is their game
Right.
at? What are they going to talk about? What am I going to learn from this?
That's a good point. You never know. Like my brother lives in LA and there's a golf course called Penmar and it's a little 9 hole. It's got really great greens though. It's like this rinky dink, fence, like chain link fence, but and it doesn't really have much, a bunch of big trees. And they've got this putting green that's about the size of a king size bed and it's roped off. And there are people and literally it says no gambling like on a sign on the side. And
I wonder how many people abide by that.
I no and then the classic Mr. Lee's on the tee in 5 minutes. Mr. Lee.
I do love that. It's true sort of authentic golf and what you're going to expect and hearing your
Love
name, that's maybe the equivalent of what it would be like hearing your
yes,
name at a tee off if you're a professional.
totally. I took a picture. I thought that they had a little hot dog stand. I actually thought that they were going to get it. They may have done this already. Does anybody watching know about Penmar in LA? We're talking Penmar. I think they got a Michelin star chef in there to have their like little shack, which is
All right, we're starting our hidden gem list now then.
no, I know. So good. Well, I don't want to keep you too much, Alexandra. This has just been really fun and it's really nice to have you on and see your genuine smile in real time.
Oh, no, it's so nice talking to you. And I need to go through your videos again and sort of use this time to get my game in check because
Yes.
now's the time.
Now is the time. Well, if I can ever do anything to help you, I am here for you. And
I would love that.
and you've got a million fans that would love to help you too. I'm sure just by looking at all these hearts that are flying
Oh.
up.
Oh, good. All right. Well, be well, and I will talk to you soon, and I'll hopefully see you at Augusta.
That will be fun. All right, Alexandra. Bye.
All right. Bye, guys.